A look at the big picture. We'll get right into the forecast. At midnight, we're starting to see some rainfall into the region. If it isn't over your house yet, it will be by the end of the nighttime hours. And we could see some steady rainfall coming up for the day on Thursday. Off and on steady rainfall. Here's where things are at 7 o'clock in the morning. Take you through the day, and you saw, again, pretty good slug of rainfall moving on through. Low pressure here will really pretty much redevelop into here, way on out to the southeast of Cape Cod. There's where things are. Again, this low pressure area really develops here. We end up by Friday morning with some strong winds throughout the area, and those winds will really kick on in. 20-40 mile an hour winds near the coastline, gusting at times to around 50-55 mile an hour winds. So again, this is really going to be howling by the end of the day Friday and on into Friday night into Saturday morning, Saturday during the day, and finally it'll drop off a little bit anyway Saturday night into Sunday morning and drop off a bit more coming up by Sunday during the day. But look at how far away this storm is. It's a monster storm way out off to the northeast of Bermuda. So again, way on out to sea, far away from our part of the world. But you can see the effect that it has, and it will likely produce some high tides into the area, minor to moderate tidal flooding. It's mostly scattered rainfall for right now into the area, but we are starting to see it increase certainly into eastern North Carolina. There's where things are through the night, through the evening hours, and into the eastern shore. Now, as far as rainfall, these numbers I tend to think are a little bit low. I tend to think that we're going to see closer to a half to 3/4 of an inch of rain. This is going a third to around a half an inch of rain. I think we'll see around half an inch to 3/4 of an inch of rainfall in the next 24 hours. It'll tend to taper off by tomorrow night late, around 11 o'clock or so. Here's the latest run of our Future Track computer model, midnight hour into 4 o'clock in the morning. Take you to 7 o'clock in the morning. Widespread rainfall moving on in through the middle of the day coming up for tomorrow. 1 o'clock in the afternoon. I think temperatures will be in the low 60s quite likely. 4 in the afternoon, some breaks in the rainfall. Still some rain though by 7 o'clock in the evening. 10 o'clock it's mostly gone. 1 o'clock it is gone. Now the cooler air starts settling on in, and we'll also see the winds start to increase for the day on Friday. It starts out westerly and then more northwesterly, coming in at 32 miles an hour by 3 o'clock in the afternoon, and likely gusting higher than that. Now I want to show you just the wind forecast on the longer range forecast model. We're going to go from Friday evening at 7 all the way into Sunday evening at 7. 39 mile an hour winds at the coastline. Now, farther inland, there's lots of land, breaks the wind up, trees, buildings break the winds up. However, when you're out over the open waters of the Bay or the Atlantic, there's nothing to slow that wind down, so you get especially stronger winds. Here's where we are with 39 mile an hour winds. That implies wind gusts well over 50. 50 to 55, so really strong winds by the end of the day Friday. Those strong winds continue into Saturday morning, into Saturday through the afternoon, and into the evening. Now, you will note it drops off a little bit, and certainly drops off for inland areas, but right along the shoreline, eastern shore, onto Virginia Beach, onto Norfolk, Newport News, a strong northerly wind by this point, and that could bring in the tides by Saturday night and Sunday. 10:30 at night on Saturday night could be our biggest tide because the winds are going to be strongest then, and a due northerly wind, more of a due northerly wind, and that could bring the tides up to moderate tidal flooding levels by Saturday night. So here's kind of a general rundown of what we're going to see. Rain from now on through Thursday evening, half an inch to 3/4 of an inch of rain. Wind Friday and Saturday, 20-40 mile an hour with winds gusting to around 50 to 55. Those winds should drop off a little bit by Saturday night late and into Sunday. Tides, it's very early to nail this down, but it looks like we could see minor to moderate tidal flooding on Saturday. Minor tidal flooding around 10 o'clock on Saturday morning, and then 10:30 in the evening. We could get close to moderate tidal flooding. We haven't seen that for a while, so again, we'll want to watch out for that real carefully. It's going to rain off and on all night. Temperatures maintaining basically around 52, 55, rising to 62 to 65 during the day. We'll go in the high end of that 100% chance of rain. It'll be windy, very windy, dangerously windy for water, for any kind of being on the water. Don't go out in a boat. 57 degrees on Friday, 49 on Saturday, still rather breezy on Sunday, 48, and then that wind should be gone, but the tides could remain all the way on into the first part of next week.